Hey there everyone, welcome to Violet's Dream Tarot. Welcome back if you are a long-term subscriber, welcome for the first time if you're new. So today we are going to be doing a romantic themed reading. It's possible to use this reading not for romantic purposes if you want to maybe ask about a friend or a colleague or someone that you're not necessarily looking for like a romantic relationship with or have a romantic relationship with, in which case I would say just discount the romantic messages. But I'm assuming that many of you will be showing up today asking about partners, exes, people that you're interested in romantically, crushes, that kind of thing. So I will be pulling specific kind of romantic cards as well. But if you want to discount those messages and just go ahead with more of a platonic meaning, then that's perfectly fine as well, because I'm sure some of you will be able to get a message from this reading today in that way. So let's look at the piles we have today. We have 3 piles to choose from. If you're new, my name is Emily, and these are my lovely gnomes. We have Gizmund, Gunvald, Gaia, and Gjord. They kind of hold space for us to do our readings. And at the moment we're using this lovely Kuan Yin reading mat, which I hope you like. I think I really love the soft colours of it. So today I've put cards on each pile from the Enchanted Map. So if you are feeling drawn to pile 1, just to give you a bit more detail of the card, it is Flying, number 20, and the deck is the Neopets Tarot, which is a new one that I've been using quite a lot of recently because I literally bought it less than a week ago. Really love it. Have really been enjoying using it. So that's pile 1. Pile 2 is Strength. The number is 44, and we're using the Circle of Life Tarot with that one. Round shaped cards. And then pile 3, Stuck in the Mud. The number is 24, and we're using the Fairy Lights Tarot with that one. So all different decks. The cards themselves I shuffled for, and I asked, give me a card for pile 1, give me a card for pile 2, 3, etc. So you may feel drawn to them because of that. Just go with your gut. I would say if you struggle to do this, or if you've never done this before, the best way is just to look at the piles, close your eyes, take a deep breath, open your eyes, thinking about your person. Choose the pile that you feel the most drawn to. It could be when you open your eyes that your gaze is sort of drawn to one pile straight away. Equally, it could just be maybe you like the look of one card more than another, or you like the sound of one of the decks, but your eye is just drawn to a different card, and you can't stop kind of looking at that one. So I would say go with your gut as to not the card that you like the most or the deck that you like the sound of the most, but the one that you are drawn to with your intuition, because that one is likely to have the most accurate reading for you today. Equally, if you really can't choose, it's fine to watch more than one pile. You might find that parts of each pile resonate for you, and maybe it's not like a 100% or 90% resonance, but maybe it's more like 50% of each works for your situation. So just have fun with it. As I said, try not to overthink it too much, just go with your intuition. But when you guys are ready, I will get started with pile number 1. If you need more time, just pause the video or rewind it back to the start so that you can watch the close-ups again. Hello there, Group 1. Welcome to your reading today. If you chose number 20, Flying, it's beautiful Pegasus-like image with some kind of labyrinth or maze, and the Neopets Tarot. This one is going to be your reading today. I can't wait to use this deck because I love it so much. The Flying card, just so you know, given that you were drawn to this one today, is about gaining a higher perspective. As you can see, the labyrinth is kind of representing a problem or even just a complicated situation maybe, and the Pegasus flying overhead is gaining a higher perspective on that. So I'm going to put that one to the side because it might have some resonance for your reading. But let's start out with your tarot as we always do. We're going to find out how the person that you're thinking about is feeling about you. and any additional messages that we might get from that. So we're going to be using tarot cards, oracle cards, charms, and dice today, because I always like to use a variety of media in my readings. So lots of different things to get through, and I hope that you enjoy this kind of multifaceted reading. So group 1, how is this person feeling? Okay, group 1. Lots of different cards. So we have Wheel of Fortune. It's a really lovely card to have. It's the Faerie wheel there. If any of you have played Neopets when you were younger, maybe still playing it now, I think this is a really cute nostalgic deck to have. 10 of Wands. 3 of Wands. And 8 of Cups. Interesting. Okay, so there's a lot going on already just in these few cards, group 1. Yeah, I can see a lot with this person. So firstly, I feel like this person feels really lucky to know you. There's an element of like, I can't believe my luck, I can't believe it. Like there's a real sense of happiness there as well. So I think this person is really happy in many ways that they know you. Obviously, this will be different situations for different people. So for some of you, like they're really happy that they're in a relationship with you. For others, they're happy to know you because your relationship hasn't sort of got to that point yet where it's in a relationship. I'm going to be trying to mention different possible situations as we go throughout the reading, just so that no one feels left out, but just take what resonates for your situation, because obviously you know best what makes sense for you. I also see this person wanting to plan a future with you, so there's an element here of this person perhaps daydreaming about the future a lot, or thinking about the longer term vision, long-term plans. But I do also see a couple of issues here from this person's side. There's something where they don't quite feel fulfilled, or there's something that they maybe find tiring or frustrating, or maybe they're recognizing that they or you are tired because of life getting in the way. There's just something, like the word I keep hearing when I look at the 8 of Cups card is unfulfilled. So there's something that they would like to improve in your relationship. Maybe there's also other factors in their life that is making them unfulfilled, that maybe makes them not feel in the best place to execute these plans yet. Let's jump straight into your oracle cards, because I can tell this is going to be an information-packed reading, group 1. Wow, okay, card just jumped out while I was doing the pre-shuffle. It's landed on the floor. I am going to take it because it really shot out of the deck. So that one is, chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Okay, so this person really strongly feels a chemistry between you, really feels attracted to you. Let's get some more from this one. Let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. That does make sense with the 10 of Wands. Like you can see here, this Aisha is kind of looking through all these plans and is really burning the midnight oil with the candles. We get the sense that she's been up all night looking at these things, trying to make sense of them. And, this card is always when you've been working so hard, or you've been concentrating so much on something and it's just wearing you out. So let go of control issues is interesting, because it seems like there is something surrounding this connection where you would do well to let go of it, or to just try and like go with the flow a little bit. And it could be directly in the relationship. It could be like someone, is really untidy around the house, and it makes the other partner like so frustrated because that's not how they live, and they can't comprehend how someone, like, their mind doesn't work the same way. And you know, they might be really like almost verging on aggressive about it, being like, can't you just pick this up, or like, how many times do I have to say you shouldn't leave the stuff here? And this is a message of trying to be calmer about it. So if this is something you recognize, like, obviously it doesn't have to be that specific situation, but something that is maybe like a difference in personality, or an issue where someone has been overly fixated on something, overly obsessed with something, needing to kind of dial back a little bit and let things move more naturally. Let's get a message from the masculine and feminine as well. So, you know, this isn't necessarily based upon biological sex. This is based on how the relationship is structured. So depending on that, you could be the masculine, you could be the feminine in this situation. But I always like to pull, in these kinds of readings, a card for each. Whoa, okay. Okay, the feminine has lots that they need to say. My word. Okay, normally I wouldn't take this many cards, but I'm going to take them because they all jumped out genuinely at once. So you have Kuan Yin, compassion. These are the messages from the feminine. Release judgments about yourself and others and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. And that kind of fits with the let go of control issues as well. Green Tara, start delegating. Okay, delegating also fits. Ask others, including me, to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. So maybe someone has been taking on like a lot of burden in this relationship and needs to ask for help, whether it's from the other partner or from other people more generally. Maybe someone's mental health has really deteriorated and they need to get a professional involved, or maybe someone's eating habits have just spiraled out of control and they need to see a nutritionist or their doctor about this, or need like a family intervention or something like that. Lakshmi, bright future. Stop worrying, everything is going to be fine. This is lovely. This also fits quite nicely with the control message. Like, you know, control obviously stems from a place of wanting to have things a certain way. And usually that's driven by an underlying fear that things won't go a certain way unless we control it, or do what we can to control it. So that makes complete sense. And then the lovely abundantia, prosperity. The universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. Lovely. Okay, let's turn to the message from the masculine. Using my homemade cards here. Okay, so your message is number 50, Utu, justice. Interesting. So like fairness, wanting things to be done in a certain way, wanting things to work out in a way that's fair to everyone. I do really get the sense that this person, like, is a good person, group one. I feel like they're trying to be fair in this situation. If they've been the controlling one, then they're kind of seeing sense a little bit. Like, I'm not suggesting that they're controlling of you, but just like that there is one issue that they've been a bit obsessive about, or that they have struggled to let go of. It could even be something like they recognize that they've been working too much and that needs to be dialed back. But I see them as being someone who's very reasonable and who accepts or admits their flaws. If they're not the one with the control issue, if that is you, group one, then they understand why that is the way it is and they want to help with that. Okay, that is a big chunk of cards, so I'm not going to take that. Cards are kind of sticking together in this deck a little bit. Professional assistance, yeah. 7 of people. Maybe someone is like looking to access therapy at work, or they've realized that they're working too much. They need to start delegating at work so that they're not just taking everything on and then coming home and being miserable or, you know, tired or just not the person that they want to be. Could also be someone looking to change jobs, or someone who has recently changed jobs to get like a better work-life balance, wanting to show up more in the relationship. Because genuinely, I see this as a situation where someone, they want things to improve and they want to be there for you. So even if you're not in a relationship yet, like it's possible that these issues, whether they've been on like your side or theirs, have been a blocker for that. But I do feel for many of you, this is a relationship that you actually like, you live together, or there's a solid commitment already there. Some of you might have children together and this person's not able to spend enough time with them, or you aren't able to spend enough time with them, and that's causing, you know, feelings of guilt, but the other person understands. Let's get a lot of understanding here. The Wild Hunt, number 9, excitement, frenzy, journey. Interesting. Okay, this person possibly wants to shake up the status quo a little bit, wants to do things that are more exciting. Maybe they're getting frustrated with always being in the house, doing the same things. Maybe they're getting frustrated with, you know, one of you having to work so often and never having time to really have fun, or when you do have free time, the person who's working so much is just tired, so they don't really want to do anything. This could also be an indication that someone wants to spice up your intimacy a little bit. If it's an intimate relationship, wanting to improve that side of things, or make it more exciting or more regular, more enjoyable. So cynicism, number 44. Gebrochenes Herz, broken heart, number 43. Schmerz, number 58, pain. And Naivität, number 62, naivety. Interesting. Yeah, there's an element here of this person almost feeling like, are these problems too big for us to overcome? Because I can see that there's been pain in the past. Like, I almost get a sense of there having been rejection in the past. Maybe not a rejection fully of the relationship, but a rejection of certain areas of someone's life. You know, maybe this person has felt that you don't appreciate them fully, or you felt that they don't accept your spiritual or religious life, for example, or maybe they think that you think their job is lowly, or there's been issues with intimacy that has led to one or both of you feeling rejected. Because I see that there has been this pain in the past. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily been like super deep or long term, but just that there has been this pain that has caused an issue. And I feel also like with naivety here, like this person really feels like you're a great catch, and they're worried that there could be other people out there who are also interested in you. So what I see with this is that they're worried that other people might take an interest and you might decide that they're a better option than this person ever was. And you might leave them, or, you know, there might end up being a third party in the relationship. So there is an element here of this person worrying about that. And this might be like control issues again surfacing. Like if you've recently started a new job, this person's maybe worried about new colleagues potentially turning your head, that kind of thing. And it's weird because I don't get an underlying sense of this person actually being controlling, but I more get like there's something that they're unhappy about, and they're maybe like an overthinker. They're someone who mulls over things a lot. You know, if I felt like there was anything really terrible about this person, then I would absolutely point it out. Like, people who've been here a while will know that. But I feel it's more that they're kind of a bit insecure and they're an overthinker. And as I said, like in the beginning, you know, the first card being the Wheel of Fortune, it's almost like they can't quite believe their luck that they've got with you. And so they're almost expecting that it's just natural that, you know, this is short-lived, and even if you've been together a few years or you've had like an on-again, off-again relationship, like it's from their perspective, they're just thinking, well, of course, you know, eventually they're going to find someone better than me. And so there is this worry there. And so maybe that's why, if there have been issues around intimacy or there have been tensions at home as to, you know, things like tidiness or personality clashes, then this person is possibly feeling the stress of that more so than they would in another situation, because deep down they're thinking, oh my God, the fact that this is like that we're very different in this personality issue, or the fact that, you know, they're very spiritual and I'm an atheist, or the fact that they do this kind of job and I do this kind of thing, or our hobbies are different, like that means that there's definitely other people better for them, because there's definitely people out there that must be better suited because they like the same things, or their personalities are more similar, or, you know, they're have similar levels of household tidiness or preferences for household decoration, and you know, I feel like that worries them. And if there have been intimacy issues, this person's possibly worried that if that side of your life isn't very fulfilling, that you might pursue someone else. And it's not that they don't trust you, because I'm not really seeing that. It's more that this is coming from like inside them, if that makes sense. Like they kind of feel as though deep down they're not worthy of a relationship with you. So why would you be interested long term? You know, they are kind of hoping for this future, and they're thinking about things, and they've got all these cute little plans in their head about how they'd love for things to turn out long term. But they're thinking like, why would this person realistically want to be with me long term? I'm sure someone will come along who is much better suited to them and more interesting, and you know, they'll hit it off, and then I'll be like old news. So this is really something that they are struggling with, group one. Maybe you're aware of this, maybe this is completely news to you, but potentially the knowledge of this could help you in how you approach this connection. I think I've just got one more deck, and then we can move on to your charms and dice. Move. A rolling stone gathers no moss. Now that's interesting, because we mentioned potentially moving jobs, that some of you have possibly recently got a new job or are looking for a new job, so there's that sense of moving there. Also with the wild hunt, like movement, change, excitement, not wanting to be in the same place all the time. Interestingly as well, the base card of this deck is be present, use the hours, don't count them. Okay, so possibly this person is wanting to do, like, kind of spend more quality time with you. Maybe they feel like your evenings, if you like live together, are always the same. Like you both come home from work, you both watch TV, or one of you plays video games, or you have dinner and then go to bed, and it's just like it's the same thing every time. Or if you are dating, maybe they always feel like the dates are very samey, and they're starting to panic that you can't be that fulfilled because it's always the same. And equally, I think from their side, there's a frustration of wanting to do things differently, or wanting things to be a little bit more exciting, but also not wanting to push you away by suggesting that, because it's not that they're not fulfilled as a whole. It's just that there are certain areas where they think, I would like to do something a bit different rather than the same thing every night. Or, you know, I wish we could just maybe pursue something slightly different here. So that's what I'm seeing from the cards, at least. Let's move on to your charms now, group 1. Very, very interesting. This person clearly kind of very multifaceted, I would say. Like, I really strongly get the feeling this person maybe quite introverted, because I get the sense that they're a real deep thinker, that they kind of chronically overthink things. They may be a little bit anxious, but they perhaps don't share everything that's on their mind very often. Maybe it's quite hard to get information out of them. Like, I'm looking at this pile of stones and I'm thinking, like, is it like getting blood out of a stone sometimes when you're trying to ask them how they feel or trying to talk to them about what's on their mind? Maybe they just say nothing, and it's hard to move on from that in a way. So let's look at your charms now, group 1. This is the charm tin. Interesting that you got one here that jumped out by itself, and that was this one, the crucifix. Always makes me think of the Hanged Man, that sense of limbo, of being stuck, of being indecisive. Also, again, this making me think of someone who overthinks and who maybe isn't very decisive. They might have been carrying these thoughts around for a long time, but they haven't voiced them or tried to do something about it. You've also got the letter X. Now, that could mean many things to you. Whenever we get letters, I always encourage you to think of names, places, words that might fit in with them. But naturally, in a relationship reading, this could definitely be talking about your ex. So maybe this person is an ex, or maybe the person that they are worried about is an ex of yours, or is similar to one of your exes. Maybe like you used to go out with, I don't know, a Spanish person, and you mention that there's a Spanish person at work because, this is landing on the professional assistance card, and so they start panicking that they're going to be similar and you're going to be attracted to them for similar reasons, that kind of silly thing. Or maybe your ex was a football player and you become good friends with someone who's really good at football, and, the same sort of situation happens, or they look similar or something like that. Equally, like the fact that the X is landing on professional assistants could also be just drawing attention again to this thing about the changing of jobs. So changing from one job to another, leaving something behind, the newness and instability potentially causing some anxiety in this person. You do have the growth charm, and as I said, I really do think this person wants to move forward with your relationship. They want to implement all of these lovely plans that they seem to have. They have Manta Ray as well. Manta Ray is about going with the flow, just gently, calmly moving through life. And so that is the opposite to having control issues. So it's like this person wants to be more Manta Ray, or wants to at least find some kind of happy medium between obsessing and stressed about something and just complete non-attachment. They want to just be calm and not let things worry them. Interestingly as well, you've got the meditation charm here. So maybe this person could benefit from mindfulness or meditation or yogic practice or something else to try and put them in more of a Zen mindset. Equally, this could be pointing out what I mentioned earlier about perhaps you are spiritual and this person isn't, or you have certain religious beliefs and they don't, or vice versa, and that is causing an issue. Or also kind of like, I think a little bit of lifestyle when I see this charm as well. So maybe your lifestyles before getting into a relationship have been quite different, or if you're not in a relationship with this person yet, like, maybe your lifestyles are very different and that causes them to panic a little bit, thinking, how would it be compatible in the long term? You have a key here, success, solving problems, opening doors, releasing blockages. That's always really positive if you get a key in your reading. You also have a zodiac sign here, Aries. So this person could be an Aries, or you could be an Aries, or one of you could have an important Aries placement in your birth chart. And then we have Shooting Star. Okay, so making a wish, wishes being granted. This is really nice because, as I said, like, I strongly got the feeling from the beginning that things are going to work out in this relationship, and it's not that this person is I want to make this clear, it's not that this person is like really unhappy with how things are. I almost get the sense that this is a very happy connection, and that the reason why this reading has focused so much on the issues as opposed to the things that are going well is because there isn't that much to talk about in a way. Like, it does feel as though this person is happy and they want things to go well, and they're just someone who gets bogged down with worry sometimes, or they tie themselves in knots by overthinking, and then, you know, they've obsessed about something for so long they can't let it go. So let's finish off with your dice, group 1, but I think this has been a very positive reading. I think things can go really well with this person. Maybe if you're able to address some of the issues that one or both of you are unhappy with, then you could really go far. Okay, so we're rolling the 9th set of dice. Those are the Astro dice. Okay, let's see how many we're going to roll. And we're rolling 2 of them. Lovely, okay. Group 1, how is this person feeling? Okay, interesting. So you have the crater that's just appeared seemingly against the backdrop of a city. It always makes me think of like a sudden development, or perhaps an issue that's maybe bigger than it should be. Like, you know that phrase, making a mountain out of a molehill? Like, sometimes when things are great, it's easy to obsess over the one thing that isn't. Just like, you know, you can get 1,000 compliments and then you'll obsess over the one negative comment or criticism that you hear from someone. So kind of maybe something that's happened recently, or something that's perhaps come to a head recently, if not happened necessarily, that has caught this person off guard, or caused them to obsess a little bit over this one issue. And you also have the person at the top of a snowy mountain putting his flag, kind of claiming this territory and feeling a real sense of victory and achievement. So again, I really feel as though this person has some quite ambitious long-term plans that involve you. So if you're not in a relationship already, I think this person is hoping that that will happen. Maybe there are a few things they've got to sort out first, but that is on their mind. If you are in a relationship, I think this person wants real commitment. They're hoping that you'll be able to experience an awful lot together, that you'll be able to sort of go through life together, achieving things and having fun, and, you know, being with each other in the long run is honestly what I see from this reading. So group 1, I hope this was helpful. Hopefully it's been encouraging and relieving a little bit if you were having worries. Like, I think this person's issue is probably just literally related to one thing, or is like manifesting in several small areas caused by their own insecurity. So if there's a way that you can assist with this or have a conversation about it, I think that will be a good first step towards resolving it and ultimately having a happy and healthy relationship in the future. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this group 1. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Do let me know in the comments whether this resonated. Would love to hear more about your situation, and of course do subscribe if you're new. Would love to see you here again. Turn on notifications as well so that you are always alerted to when I post new videos, because I don't have like a regular uploading schedule at the moment, so it's probably best if you have notifications on just so you're aware when they are posted. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi there, group 2. Welcome to your reading if you chose this card, Strength. number 44 from the Enchanted Map Oracle, and then also the lovely Circle of Life Tarot. This is going to be your reading. So I will put the card you chose just down here. I think we can take the message of strength as potentially being related to your reading, given that you chose this card and they were shuffled for each pile. Like I didn't just choose them myself or even choose them randomly, like they were shuffled. And I took what came out for each pile. So potentially that might be pertinent to your reading. But let's get your cards out. We have this lovely Circle of Life Tarot, as I mentioned. I really like this deck. I love the imagery, but also I kind of like that they're round cards because I like anything that's a little bit different. We will be doing your tarot and oracle cards. I've got plenty of different oracle decks that we're using today, and then we'll also be using charms and dice as well. So if you're new, we use lots of different media in my readings to get various different messages. I think it's really great when we get lots of different messages in the one reading, and sometimes it can be very validating to see the same messages or symbols or numbers, colors, etc., imagery showing up throughout various media, and also I think you get different kinds of messages sometimes from the charms and dice than you would just from the cards. So plenty to get through today. Let's take a look at your tarot first. As I mentioned, we're thinking about how your person is feeling about you. So as I mentioned in the intro, it doesn't have to be romantic, but I'm assuming that most of you are asking about that kind of a relationship. So we will be using some cards that are specifically designed for that kind of reading. But if you are, as I said, asking about a platonic relationship, then that's fine. You might find that there are some answers here for you today, but maybe just discount those messages that are specifically about romance. So group 2, how is your person feeling? Group 2. Okay, a few different cards from the tarot. I felt like I had to keep shuffling because there was definitely something that still wanted to come out. One of the cards has just dropped on the floor, so I'll just reach down and grab that. Just give me a moment. Okay, so what do we have here? Group 2, you have 9 of Cups as your first card. That's really lovely. Wish fulfillment, happiness, contentment. 3 of Cups. Getting along well. Again, happiness, celebration, friendship. Knight of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Really love these cards. Ace of Pentacles. Really nice card. Ace is always positive. And then also the World. Interesting. Okay, you've got quite a lot of different and quite impactful cards to start your reading there. So, yeah, group 1, I feel like this person has very positive feelings towards you, in all honesty. I think this person is hoping to stay in your life for the long run. So, if this is someone that you're in a relationship with, I imagine this person is looking for long-term commitment or looking to stay with you for the long run. There's lots that they're happy about. If this is someone that you're not in a relationship with or that you're just dating, I feel like this person is positive about the future. If they haven't expressed romantic feelings for you, I do think that they are there, or at least they are developing. I see that this person enjoys talking to you, like possibly they feel as though they can have really deep conversations with you, or like conversation just feels so natural with you. Maybe they don't get the same quality of discussion with other people as they do with you. It's possible that maybe other people in their life don't kind of share the same interests, or maybe they're not as educated as you or as deep a thinker as you. And, that really draws this person in. Interesting how you've got like a ace and the world next to each other. It's kind of like the alpha and the omega. Sense of completion. Maybe this person feels that you complete them. Start getting some oracle cards. Lots of cards jumping out for you, honestly. Like from the different decks so far, you've got lots of different cards showing up. So make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. That's a really cute one. Making the effort. And then you have unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. And pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Interesting. So I get the feeling that this person wants to spend more time with you, but is worried that you don't feel the same way that they do, and that they are therefore going to end up feeling stupid, or, getting sucked deeper into this connection and, ultimately feeling loss or heartbreak. So if you're not in a relationship with this person, they're kind of worried that you don't feel the same way. So maybe you've been playing it safe and you haven't been, wanting to show too overtly that you're interested in this person. And maybe you're not, maybe you're just curious about how they feel about you, but you don't feel the same way. But yeah, I kind of get a reservation from their end, as in they don't want to put a foot wrong and end up losing the connection they already have. Because for a lot of you, I feel like you're quite good friends with this person. Like maybe you work together, study together, or just know each other really well. And so there's a sense of like, I don't want to jeopardize what we already have if that's not how they feel, because then it would just be weird, and things would never be the same. They might even be offended and not want to speak to me again. So that's on this person's mind. If you are in a relationship with this person, then I think they are worried that they care more about you than you do about them, or that you are maybe falling out of love with them, or other things have just taken your focus away from this relationship. Maybe you've been working a lot, maybe you've been focusing a lot on your hobbies or personal goals, and it's just meant that you haven't had as much time to spend like quality time with your partner. Maybe even things like having children, means that you are spending time as a family but not as partners, if that makes sense, group 2. So this person definitely feels like either you don't like them back, or their love for you is deeper than the love that you have for them. Really interesting. Surprises. Venture down the rabbit hole. Interesting. Okay. Surprises. Let's get a message from the masculine and feminine in this situation as well. This is something I often like to do when I do relationship readings. And this isn't necessarily connected to biological sex. It's more to do with the dynamics of the relationship. So even if you are female, you might find that you resonate more with the masculine message as being coming from your side. So just bear that in mind when we do this aspect of the reading, like the feminine or masculine message might not be coming from who you suspect, etc. And obviously that's especially true for same-sex relationships. So we'll get the feminine message first. Kali, endings and beginnings. Now that's really interesting, given I mentioned you have the ace and the world, beginning and the end. The old must be released so that the new can enter. Maybe one of you has recently left a relationship or even started a new relationship, and that's kind of thrown some doubt into this. Maybe you've gone from being friends to being partners, and that's cause some doubt in this person's mind as to whether they can live up to things or give you what you can deserve. Equally, it could be, as I mentioned earlier, that you work with this person or you study with them, but maybe one of you has got a new job, or one of you has, or one or both of you has graduated or something like that. And that means that now you're spending less time with each other, or there's less of an excuse perhaps to spend time with each other, and that's causing anxiety for this person. So the feminine is focused on change, endings and beginnings, and the passage of time. Let's see what message the masculine has. I'm using my homemade cards here. Interesting. Okay, so the masculine says Eros, number 13, lust. Wow. Okay, so the masculine is really attracted in this situation. Strong feelings of chemistry and physical attraction, possibly fantasizing about the other person in this situation. Really not wanting to let on that that's how they feel. So, if the person that we're asking about here is the masculine, then it definitely backs up all of the things I've been saying. If you are the masculine in this situation, or suspect that you might be, then this is a message that you have also been thinking about this person in a similar way. So that is really, really interesting. Very, very strong, physical attraction here. But also there's, as I said, the element of this person seems to really appreciate the discussions that you have and really enjoys spending time with you. They think that you're very intelligent or eloquent, quite charismatic. That draws them in further. Okay, optimism, actually in the reverse. So the one of consciousness. I'll just show you what it looks like. Upright. I don't usually read cards in the reverse, but there are a few decks that I do, just because those decks are really well thought out with the reverse meanings. And family, friends, and guides. Six of Spirits. Yeah, as I said, this person, they seem to be a good friend for you, or they're very enmeshed with you in some other way. Base card there is stuck energy. 8 of energy. And when I say enmeshed, I'm not necessarily meaning in a negative way, but it's either you are in a relationship with this person and things have gotten a bit samey, or they've gotten kind of status quo or, this person is a close friend of yours or a good friend. They don't want to lose that relationship. For some of you, the family might also be a message, maybe this person is actually in a relationship with a family member of yours, or is the ex-boyfriend of your sister or something like that, and it complicates matters a little bit, but it means that you already know them well. So then you have Salu, vitality, health, energy. Yeah, number 27, this person really feels as though they get a lot from you, not in a kind of draining you of your energy sort of way, but they just feel like you bring great energy. They feel happy when they're with you. They feel it's interesting with the health message, because it's almost like this person feels as though you have had some kind of benefit to their health or lifestyle. Maybe you have encouraged this person to take up running or something, and they've become healthier and lost weight because of that. Or maybe you have supported them through giving up smoking or something, and now they feel like they can kind of credit you with making their life better and improving their health in some way. Just a feeling that you have a positive influence on their lifestyle and their overall kind of health and well-being. Could just be that they feel better around you and they feel as though their mental health has improved since meeting you, which is also really lovely. But I think with some of you, there is that tangible, you helped me through this time, or you were there to support me when I was going through those weight issues, or when I was dealing with, addiction, or the drinking or the smoking or something. You really helped me out with that, or you really encouraged me into this sport, and now I love it, and I've seen such an improvement in my life. So many of you are being credited with helping this person's health. Let's get one more deck, group 2, and then we'll move on to your charms and dice. Really interesting reading. Obviously there's some very strong feelings on this person's side for you. Okay, Rückzug, number 63, retreat or withdrawal. Now this makes sense if this person is worried about potentially losing your relationship as friends, if they tell you how they're feeling. It also makes sense if, this endings and beginnings rings true for you, if you've changed job recently, or if the two of you have graduated, or the general reason that you see each other regularly is changing, maybe one of you moving to a different area. Zärtlichkeit, number 17, tenderness. Very tender, kind of almost sweet feelings for you. Like, we have got lust, which is obviously quite a heavy, strong, carnal message. But also I feel as though this person's almost a little bit giddy about you. Like, I get something kind of quite wholesome and childlike almost about them. And maybe that's not how they are with everyone, but I kind of get the feeling that you have made them feel a certain way that they maybe don't normally feel with other people. Normally maybe they don't get as attached or as involved with other people, or maybe they're normally quite level-headed, or even quite lustful, but it feels like in this instance, yes, they feel the strong, passionate physical attraction towards you, but there's also a lot that they really respect about you, and it's like there's a real sweet, loving tenderness to them, which maybe they don't normally experience in this kind of stage of a relationship. So that's really sweet. And sich verlieben, number 23, falling in love. I mean, that says everything. Like, this person is in love with you, group 2. I don't really know how else to say it, and maybe that is obvious to you because this is your partner, or whatever, but this person is in love with you, and they kind of worry that you don't feel the same, or that you don't feel as strongly as they do. So let's take a look at your charms now. This is my charm tin. I'll pull a few charms for you, and then we'll do your dice as well. Okay, so this one jumped out while I was shuffling. This is a musical symbol. So perhaps you bond over a shared love of music. Maybe you have similar musical tastes, and this person maybe hasn't met people that are similar like that. Equally, when I think of the music symbol, I just think of creativity. I think of inspiration. I think of dancing, singing, sound healing. So if any of those messages ring true, do take that on board. You have Hermes showing up here, or Mercury with the Caduceus. God of travel, god of foreign lands, god of commerce, thieves, boundaries, so many different things. Hermes is one of my patron deities. There's actually a statue of him just beyond the boundary of the tarot mat, so it's just cut off by the camera, but I have a statue of him on my desk at all times that I got in Italy. So maybe this has some particular meaning for you. It could be that you feel very drawn to Hermes as a deity. It could be that this person is very similar to Hermes or Mercury, or maybe you are, and that's kind of coming in here as an archetype that this person views you as, potentially. Equally, kind of think about the sort of things that Mercury is connected to. So, as I said, maybe this person comes from a different country or background to you. Maybe you have bonded over a shared love of travel or foreign languages or different cultures. Maybe you both are in commerce, you both own your own businesses or are interested in doing that one day, or maybe you're both studying economics or business or something along those lines. Kind of understand it how it fits for your situation, but I think it's nice that you've got that. You also have the heart with the arrow through it, which obviously represents love, falling in love, but also it's really pertinent given that you got Eros, otherwise known as Cupid, literally the one who shoots his arrows through your heart. So very nice validation, and that is why, as I said, I really love using various different media and not just the cards, because you kind of get this lovely validation, which is great. So over here you have Aquarius. So Aquarius could be an important sign for one or both of you. You have the Wheel of Fortune here, like a ship's wheel or compass, changing directions for the better. This person perhaps feeling lucky to have met you. It also fits with what I said about their health and lifestyle. Like this person feels as though you have been a positive influence on their life in that way, that you've changed their life for the better, or you've supported them or encouraged them to turn their life around. Maybe they were in quite a different position when you met them to how they are now. Then, interestingly enough, on Unrequited Love, you have the frog getting ready to take a leap. And this charm was across Unrequited Love and the optimism in reverse. So it's like this person, perhaps doesn't want to talk about their feelings, whether they're in a relationship with you or not. Or, if they're not, they don't want to declare that they're interested in you because they're worried that it won't go well, because they just don't trust that you feel the same way, or that you don't feel as strongly. Or, as I said, circumstance wise, you might be in a relationship currently, and that kind of puts them off because they don't want to seem like someone who's trying to break up a relationship, and the fact that you're in a relationship makes them think that you can't be interested in them. It's that kind of vicious circle of thoughts. Then we have the worry thread, which is wrapped around the sunglasses. So this person is anxious about their perception, worried that they're not seeing things clearly. And I think, again, that just connects to what I just said. Like maybe sometimes when they're talking to you, they kind of get the vibe that you're interested, and they, sort of want to sidle the situation up to asking you on a proper date. Or, if you're in a relationship, they might be worried that you don't feel the same way, but they're also worried about bringing it up in case that's not true, and it leads to like a worse outcome because you get so upset that they would think that, there's something here about them being worried about their perceptions. You have the conch shell here, another kind of zodiac, well, not necessarily zodiac marker, but like a deity marker. So you obviously have Hermes, you have Cupid. This one makes me think of Poseidon or Neptune, Triton, any other kind of sea deities. So there might be some that come to mind that I haven't mentioned there. Neptune, of course, also very strongly connected to Pisces, and I should have mentioned, but Hermes is connected to Virgo. So yeah, just take from that what you will. I think Hermes also connected to Gemini, I believe. So potentially those are also showing up. Maybe this person has a strong Pisces placement or a strong Virgo or Gemini, etc. Just take from that what makes sense for you. You have the anchor, stability, security, wanting to stay a while, wanting to have things the way they are. The dog, loyalty. I do get the feeling that for a lot of you, this person is a friend. So they're not currently in a relationship with you, but they are like a close friend or someone that you've known for a long time. This can again be a zodiac marker for the lunar year of the dog. So people perhaps born in that year, maybe that was the year that you met this person. Again, just take it how it makes sense for you. Saturn showing up here as well. Lots of like zodiac stuff going on. Maybe take a look at your or this person's Saturn placements that might give you an indication of, how they feel or what's going on. Equally, it's interesting to me that Saturn has landed on the Kali card because Kali is connected to time. It's believed that time sort of comes from and ends with Kali. And Saturn is also connected to the passage of time, especially things that happen over a long period of time. If we think of Saturn being the Roman form of the Greek god Kronos, and Kronos was the god of time, there is like an inherent message of time there. And also Saturn in the Roman sense was a god connected with the harvest. And when we think of Saturn in astrology, we're also thinking of things like karma, like reaping what you sow over time. So time seems to be important here. Maybe you've known this person for a very, very long time. Maybe you've known them in a previous life, and therefore felt a connection with them pretty quickly. Again, just obviously take what resonates, but that seems to be quite important. And then the black swan, uniqueness, your unique personality. Like this person feels as though they maybe haven't met someone like you before, and that is really positive from their side. Like they really care about you. I get the feeling that they kind of like quirky people, or also that they haven't, you kind of share some of their interests and they don't really know anyone else that does share those interests. So they really enjoy talking to you about it. So let's see what your dice have to say. As honestly, I think this is so clear cut that this person is interested, but I think it's helpful to just get as many pieces of information as we can. So let's do your dice. Okay, group 2, so we're going to roll the 9th set of dice for you. Those are the Astro dice. And actually those were the dice that group 1 got as well. So that's interesting. Okay, so there are 9 individual dice in each set that I have. I have 10. So let's see how many of these Astro dice we're going to roll for you. One. Okay, usually I roll again if it's a 1 or a 0 to try and see if we can get some more. Group 2. 4. Okay, so we're going to roll 4 dice for you. Lovely. So, group 2. Interesting. Okay, look at this group 2. You have Saturn and you have Saturn again. What did I say about there being multimedia validation? The same symbols, the same meanings, the same colors or words showing up. That's amazing. So check, if you can, I would recommend checking this person's Saturn placements, your Saturn placements, maybe seeing how they match up in a synastry chart. Maybe also check your and their Saturn transits as well, just to be clear on how it's affecting you in the here and now as well as in your birth charts, because that seems to be an important message. But also, again, as I said, when I think of Saturn, I think of time, I think of the passage of time, I think of old age. Maybe this person wants to be with you forever kind of thing. Maybe you're both in relationships now and this person is hoping that, should anything ever happen to those relationships, you'll be together when you're older. Maybe that's part of their fantasy that one day you will be together no matter when it is. Equally, as I said, it makes me think of karma. It makes me think of harvests. So yeah, that seems quite important. Also, I should mention as well that Saturn rules Capricorn. So Capricorn could also be quite strong placement-wise for both of you. I feel like we've got a lot of zodiac signs though, so just take what resonates for this reading. Then you have the plane, the aeroplane. So yeah, people maybe, as I mentioned, the two of you are from different countries, different cultures. Maybe you met while traveling, or you share a love of travel. Yeah, that seems to be important. Again, could also be tied in with this message that I had of, oh, apologies, my voice is going, message that I had of one of you moving away or changing jobs, or just having that sense of movement. Like when I see any vehicle, I think of movement and change, or movement and progress. So do take that on board if that makes sense, because you also have this little teleport pod. So this person is in this little pod that's going to transport them somewhere else. So there is that sense of moving or shifting, moving away, no longer being physically around this person very much. It could be a long distance thing. Equally, when I see that, I do kind of think of like past life relationships as well. This person kind of pops up out of nowhere from a previous lifetime, or you do that to them. So if that makes sense to you, please do take it as a message. And then finally, the person who is like running away from these falling rocks, like in some kind of volcanic eruption or something. So, this does make me feel as though this person is really worried about consequences if they let you know how they feel. And as I said, there's also that element of like wanting to avoid harm to you or them if they mention that they're interested in you. So I would say, obviously, what you decide to do next after this reading is really down to you and your individual circumstances. But I would say this person seems interested. Maybe if you're interested as well, maybe try and create the space where they feel comfortable to say that. Because as I mentioned, like I really get the sense that they are frightened to say something in case that's not how you feel. And if you are in a relationship with this person, it seems like they're worried that you're not as interested in them anymore, or that the spark is going on your side. So you might want to let them know if that's not the case. So I hope this makes sense for you, group 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for trusting me to do this reading for you. I would love to hear in the comments how it resonated. Please do like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed this, because it massively helps my channel. And I would love to see you here again. And I don't currently have like a regular posting frequency. So if you want to subscribe and turn on notifications, then you will always be aware of when I release something new. And yeah, thank you so much for spending this time with me. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye. Take care. Hi there, group 3. Welcome to your reading if you chose number 24, Stuck in the Mud, from the Enchanted Map Oracle, and also the Fairy Lights Tarot. Then this is going to be your reading. We're going to be seeing what this person, whoever your person is feeling about you. Now, I will just put your card to the side. I think possibly, this might have some meaning for your reading potentially, because I didn't just choose them myself or choose them randomly. I actually shuffled for each pile which card was going to be on them today. So maybe that, like, you were maybe drawn to the message or the image, or even the number of the card. So group 3, as I said, we're looking at how your person is feeling about you today. And as I mentioned in the intro, this might be someone that you don't necessarily have a romantic interest in, or that's not the nature of your relationship. So while I'm expecting most people to be asking today about some kind of romantic connection or a relationship that has a romantic edge to it, if you've come to the reading today and you're not asking about that kind of relationship, that is fine. If you want to ask about something platonic, I think that's okay. I would just say that there are a couple of decks I'm using today that are specifically for romantic relationships, so you might just want to discount those messages and focus on the reading more as a whole, to find what resonates for you today. So group 3, as I said, we're using the Fairy Lights Oracle. Really unique deck that I love. It's funny, actually, every every card has a counter card in this deck that matches up with it, but it's often like you wouldn't guess which card it's going to be. Like, it sometimes takes me quite a long time to work out which ones they are, so you kind of put them together and make a picture. I'm trying to quickly see if there's an example here. Are these two the same? Yeah, so if you can see here, Judgment and the Seven of Swords, if you put them together, they make a picture, but if you looked at them individually, you wouldn't necessarily know that they would go together as a picture. So just in case we get two that end up matching up. So group 3, how is your person feeling about you? Group 3. Okay, quite a few cards actually from your tarot that have jumped out there. So let's see, what's this one? Knight of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What else have you got over here? Nine of Wands. Okay. The Fool, lovely card there. Four of Pentacles. Seven of Cups. And the Page of Cups. Okay, very interesting. Lots of things kind of going on here. I get the feeling that for some of you, this is someone that this has been like either an on again, off again relationship, or a relationship where it's been like a will they, won't they situation for quite a long time. Because I'm seeing messages here of like being tired, being exhausted even, being dragged down, being unsure, closing off and starting again. I do see with the Page of Cups that there are romantic feelings here, or there are sort of almost the word I want to use is like sentimental feelings here. Maybe the two of you have been through a lot together, or you've known this person a very long time. I just kind of get the feeling that you're quite a significant feature in this person's life, or you have been over like a longer period of time. So let's get your oracle cards. Just as a bulletin, if you're new, I always pull cards from one tarot deck like this, and then I pull cards from various oracle decks, and then once we've read all of those, we then move on to getting you some charms and also dice as well. Sometimes we also use other media. That's just because I think it's very validating when you get repeated messages across various different means, and also sometimes I think the charms and dice, the way they give messages can be slightly different to the way you get them from the cards, and they can offer more detail as well. So let's move on to oracle cards. Really curious to see more detail in your situation here, because I can definitely see how stuck in the mud might be relevant with like the Nine of Wands and Four of Pentacles, and also in a way the Seven of Cups there. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. Well, that's a beautiful card. So yeah, this person has loving feelings for you. As I mentioned, like there is something quite significant about you in this person's life. So maybe, as I said, you've known each other a long time, or this could perhaps be the relationship where they've felt the most strongly about someone. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Okay, so this person would like to spend more time with you, or make more effort with having quality time. would like to do more things for you. If you're already in a relationship, it could be that they just want more quality time with you. Maybe you have children and it's hard to find time for each other, or maybe intimacy has slowed down over the years, or maybe this is just about doing things for you to lighten the load. Maybe this person realizes that they could do more around the house and that would make you less stressed or give you more time back to then spend having quality time with them. So the phrase that I just really strongly got was that this person appreciates you. Group 3, they appreciate what you do for them and what you have done for them in the past. So that's a channeled message. It's possible that this person hasn't actually voiced that to you, though, that they appreciate you. But yeah, I see them being quite grateful for the things that you've done for them. So let's get a message from the masculine and feminine in this relationship. That's something I often like to do when we do relationship readings on the channel, or indeed in private readings. Now, when I say message from the masculine and feminine, it doesn't necessarily correspond to biological sex. So, this is more to do with the dynamics of the relationship. You might find that you are the masculine when you were expecting to be the feminine, or vice versa. And obviously that's especially pertinent for same-sex relationships. So take this how it resonates with you. We'll start with message from the feminine. Wow. Mother Mary, expect a miracle. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. Beautiful card. So Mother Mary showing up there in the form of the feminine. So the feminine in this relationship is quite nurturing, maybe almost to the point of being kind of self-sacrificing. The feminine is expecting great change, or is at least hoping for positive change. Has maybe been praying for things to work out differently in this relationship, or for certain obstacles to be overcome. And for my message from the masculine, I'll use my homemade cards. Okay, so group 3, Hypnos, relief. Number 25 is the message from the masculine. Now that's interesting. Really, really interesting. Yeah, I think if this person is the masculine in the relationship, then I think that they've sort of realized that they haven't been doing very much, and that they've kind of been almost sleepwalking through this connection sometimes, so that they haven't, like, things that you've done for them have gone not unnoticed, but they've gone unthanked or uncommented upon. And they feel with hindsight that they could be kinder to you, or they could notice more the things that you do for them. This could also be like, not necessarily that you've been making grand overtures towards them, but it could be things like, say this is someone that you've been dating, you made a lot of effort to look nice and, accessorized really well, spent a long time on hair and makeup and clothing, or whatever, and they didn't comment upon it. So they might have thought, wow, this person looks great, but they didn't think to say, you look beautiful today, or I really love what you're wearing, or anything like that. And kind of looking back, I think they'd rather have done more of that. I'm also getting that this person thinks about you quite a lot at night, like in that sort of quiet time where we end up ruminating. So before they go to sleep, or when it's late at night, they've turned the TV off, they're sat on the sofa, they haven't yet been bothered to go to bed. That kind of quiet time where things start to weigh heavily on our minds, because during the day it's easy to just forget about things like that because of the noise and the daylight and the things we need to do. I think this person ends up spending quite a lot of time thinking about you then. So you got a few cards from this deck. You have Taking Steps, for Intention. Beautiful Castle Howard there. I love this card. I've been there quite a few times when I was a kid. A Consciousness of Lack, 5, Consciousness. Happy Success, 8, Consciousness. Yeah, I sort of get the sense that this person doesn't really know what to do to fix things, group 3. So I mentioned that they would like to make more of an effort because they feel that they haven't always shown up in the right way for you. They haven't always appreciated things. They haven't always reciprocated things in the way that perhaps they should. And I do get the sense from their energy that they would love a fresh start, but I also feel as though there's an uncertainty as to how to move forward. Like there's also kind of a pessimism, if I'm being honest. So it's like, I would like to make things right, or I would like to make things better, but how can I go about doing that? You know, if I start doing something, I'll just do it wrong, or it'll get rejected and then I'll feel worse, or, you know, this person will see me as a failure kind of thing. I think this person struggles a little bit from internal confidence issues, even if outwardly they seem quite successful or professional or confident. You know, I think there is some insecurity, and I think especially this comes out when they're alone, and especially when it's late as well. For some of you, I think this person might also have issues with drinking, potentially also substance abuse. This is something you would be aware of. So, you know, if that doesn't resonate with you, that's not a message that you have to take. But I'm strongly getting like channeled visions here of someone sitting alone late at night. And in some cases, they've been drinking, or they've, you know, been abusing other substances, and you might notice that it's late at night that you start getting messages from this person, like messages of remorse or messages of, you know, telling you what they want to do in your future, you know, kind of promising you things or letting you in, and seeming a bit sensitive even. And that's kind of saying to you like, oh, wonderful, you know, this person's letting me in. And then the next day it seems like it's forgotten about. And I think that is kind of like a frustration point, but I feel as though this person gets quite sentimental, sensitive, ruminates a lot late at night. And especially if there is any kind of addiction issue or misuse of alcohol or substances, I think that feeds into it. So I can understand that this might have been frustrating for those of you who have been on the receiving end of that, but that is just a message for some, not all of you. So just take that as a validation if you recognize that in your relationship. I've got a few more decks before we move on to your charms and dice, so let's get those ones out now. Okay, the Fairy Norn, number 31, Planting, Patience, Cooperation. Now this is super interesting because, you know, we've got this image. It looks kind of like a mirror. I can't really tell if she's embroidering it or if it's a mirror frame that she's embroidering or something. But, you know, I also got this image earlier on of someone late at night kind of just staring into the mirror and thinking about things, almost like they were like unconsciously scrying, if that makes sense. Like they were sort of looking into the mirror but not really looking at themselves, and just kind of going deep into their soul. You know, when sometimes you just look into the distance and your eyes kind of glaze over and you're not really looking at anything, you're just sort of lost in thought. I see that with someone who has like a big chest of drawers with a mirror on it, or like a dressing table that they sit at with a mirror, or something along those lines. Someone who has like a big mirror in their bedroom perhaps. And again, this is just a message for like someone or a few people, but that has come through as like a channeled message. So this is someone who does a lot of thinking late at night. Group 3, it's almost like they're two different people. There's like the daytime self and there's the nighttime self, a bit like Princess Fiona in Shrek. Okay, so you also got Elfstruck, number 18, and this one says enchanted, beguiled, and spelled. So this person is definitely very interested in you, like very enthralled by you. I kind of get the feeling really that deep down they feel as though they aren't good enough for you. And that's maybe why their behavior has been disappointing sometimes, is because they have this subconscious belief that they don't deserve you. And so, they almost, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy because they're acting in a way that is subpar, and it just kind of then proves to themselves that they weren't worthy of you to begin with, or of course you're not interested anymore because they did this thing, or they forgot about this important thing. Or they acted that way. But definitely this person is like very much enthralled with you, group 3. Okay. So, Unersättlichkeit, number 81. Insatiability. Someone who can never quite get enough of something. Definitely makes sense for those of you dealing with someone with addiction issues. Täuschung, number 68. Deception. Angst vor Bindung, number 84. Fear of commitment. Interesting. Yeah, so I think, as I said, some of you are dealing with people who have kind of unhealthy dependencies. You might find at times that this was felt like a codependent relationship, even if you weren't kind of in a romantic relationship with this person at the time. It just felt like you were very codependent on each other in a way that wasn't necessarily healthy. The deception, I feel like this is kind of like the message I get from this is not that this person is lying to you, because I don't see that, but more that this person is like, they feel like they wear a mask in everyday life. They feel like they are a bit of a loser, in all honesty, and that they're sort of unsure as to what you see in them. And I think this ties into the fear of commitment, because from their end, there's a fear that if they fully let you in, you'll realize how pathetic they are or how much of a loser they are, and you'll be disappointed and you'll never want to see them again. So that's the kind of spiraling thought process that this person has. It doesn't mean that they don't want to be with you, but just that they have this kind of wall up. And that's often what I see portrayed with the Four of Pentacles as well, as this protecting of the self at all costs and putting up a wall because you don't have the bandwidth or the energy to deal with other people, or because you've been hurt so many times that you're trying to protect yourself. And if you are in a relationship with this person, so they have given you that kind of commitment, I still feel as though you sometimes encounter a wall when it comes to fully understanding them or fully getting to the bottom of their feelings and, being able to talk about that. And again, it's not that they want to clam up and just not talk to you about things, but just that they feel as though if they fully explain it to you, if they could find the words, you wouldn't want to continue things with them in the same way, or you'd see them in a different light and you wouldn't be able to unsee that perception, if you know what I mean. Hidden depths, yeah. You only see the surface, look beyond. Yeah, definitely. So this person kind of trying to hide these messy roots that are holding up the beautiful flower. And it's not that this person really sees themselves as a beautiful flower, but just that they feel as though, you know, what you're seeing in them is not what they see in themselves. Okay, really, really interesting, quite complex reading. Let's see what your charms and dice have to say, group 3, what extra perspectives they can add to this. So this is my charm tin. So I'm going to pull a few charms from this and then we can do your dice as well. Also, I don't think it's been mentioned in your reading, but I do wonder if this person has like a strong Pisces placement, just because of some of the things that we've been talking about, and some of the cards that have come out have made me wonder if this person has a strong Pisces. It doesn't have to be their sun sign, but maybe something else important in their birth chart has its sign as Pisces. So let's see, you have the worry dolls. So straight away, you know, this is someone who is beset with worry, fears, anxiety, the moon and star as well, like combined with the worry doll makes me think of the moon card in tarot, which is also about fears and anxieties, especially those that hit us either in our dreams or just late at night. So that is really interesting that you have that, because that was such a specific message that came through. It's also suggesting to me that this person is really quite sensitive and feels things quite deeply. I think their feelings are also quite complicated, but that they just don't necessarily voice a lot of this. Like so much of it, it's like the hidden depths, like so much is just going on inside and you're not really seeing much of it on the surface. And I think sometimes their behavior is really quite confusing because of that, because you're only getting like maybe 1/10 of the full story, because so much is just being bottled up and kept inside. Now it's very, very interesting here you have the knife and fork, because that makes me think of nutrition or just in general like what we put into our bodies. So this person, as I mentioned, could have issues with food, drink, substances. I don't think I mentioned food before, but it could be that, you know, maybe they're a comfort eater or they don't eat well at all, and that causes, you know, health problems, or they're not eating enough, or they're eating too much, or, you know, no home cooked meals, and that's an issue. I'm also, because there's the feminine there right next to it, I'm also wondering if you resonate as being the feminine in this reading, which not everyone will, but just for those of you that do, maybe some of you have tried taking care of this person. Maybe you've cooked them delicious, like home cooked meals, or if this person has been low on funds, you've treated them to food at a restaurant or even a cafe or something kind of regularly, or you've bought them coffee every day or something, and they feel like they haven't been sufficiently grateful for that in hindsight. So that will just be a message for some of you. You have the wasp, feeling hurt, feeling stung. This person, like they do seem to carry pain around with them. Like I'm not necessarily seeing past trauma, although that could be relevant for some, but it's more like maybe there has been like difficult relationships in the past that they're struggling to move on from, or that they're still carrying the pain of that around with them. You have flexibility here, the gymnast trying to be flexible. This person wants to change, but I think they're just not really sure how. The cross, sacrifice, faith, trust, belief. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean that this person has a religious faith, but it can do, or it can be that is something they've explored in the past as a means of trying to improve things for themselves. I have the flamingo here, which is about finding your other half. So this person really does believe that you're like the other side of their coin, so to speak, that you're like their other half, the person that fits them. In fact, I actually just heard their better half, so that might make sense for some people, that you're their better half. Have the crown, authority, autonomy, integrity, sincerity, sovereignty. I think this person doesn't always own up to or take full responsibility for their actions. Father Christmas, wintertime, could be important, could be when you met this person, could be when they started having difficulties, could be one of your birthdays or something like that. Page of Pentacles, the ballerina, taking things one step at a time. It's interesting with that because you have the taking steps card. Trying to move slowly because you don't want to fall flat on your face, you know. That's very interesting. But I feel as though in a way you might be listening to this and thinking this person has been moving so slowly they're basically ground to a halt. Because I do see that some of these people that we're looking at here are like paralyzed with indecision, because they don't want to put a foot wrong and they don't want to jeopardize the relationship they have with you. So, yeah, as I said, I fully understand group 3 if you're feeling real frustration with this person. Like, I get it. I can see that. But they do seem to be quite a complex, multifaceted person, shall we say. Another thing you have here is the thistle. So this can sort of mean a couple of things. Like, firstly, it does make me think of the Four of Pentacles again, and of keeping people at bay. Like, you're not going to cozy up to a thistle, are you? Because they're super prickly. So this person might behave in a certain way or be avoidant so that you know, can't see the true them, as we've discussed. Some of their behavior is centered around trying to mask their true self so that people don't see, you know, the true self that they have such a low opinion of. Equally, for some of you, the thistle could mean that this person is Scottish or has Scottish ancestry, or even just a Scottish name. Like, maybe they have no connection to Scotland except that their name is Cameron or their surname is MacDonald or something like that. Obviously, again, take what resonates. But yeah, this person could be called Mackenzie, for example, but their ancestry is, I don't know, Thai or something, you know. It's just a validation for those of you for whom that resonates, that this is definitely your message. So let's finish up with your dice now, group 3. Okay, so we have rolled an 8, so that means that I'm going to roll the 8th set of dice for you, because I have 10 different boxes of dice that all have different themes. As it happens, the 8th set is my Adventure Time set. So for those of you that are fans of Adventure Time, you'll get to see this set now. And equally, I'm going to roll that dice again because each set that I have has 9 individual dice in it. So I always roll to see how many of those dice within the set that we roll for each reading. Okay, all 9. Great. Lovely. I don't always want to roll all 9. That's why I always do that little determiner thing, because it could be that not every dice in that set has a message for you, and if there's only 2 that do, there's no point getting 7 confusing or like unnecessary messages. So group 3, what is this person feeling? Okay, what have we got? So Marceline. Okay, Marceline is, for those of you who've never seen the show, she is a vampire character. And when I think of Marceline, you know, I think of someone who's very independent, kind of avoidant as well. You know, this definitely has elements of the avoidance that I'm picking up on. Equally, it makes me think of the time that everyone clubbed together as a band to sing that song, and Marceline's song From the Heart, when she was like expressing her true feelings, was that she felt kind of unloved and unappreciated by one of her friends. So there is an element here, as I mentioned, of just feeling not good enough, feeling, you know, just like there is something deep down that's unlovable. And that's what this person kind of carries around with them, which is really sad. So, you know, hopefully they won't feel like that forever. But that belief is obviously coming from somewhere. So that's something that only they really can explore and find an answer to. And obviously Marceline being a vampire as well carries that connotation of like draining other people or feeling like they've been a burden to you in some way. You know, I mentioned that for some of you, you've maybe subbed this person financially, or you've supported them through a period of poor health, bad choices, etc. Like when I see this one as well, I think of poor health. This person looks ill or possibly beaten up, you know, someone who's down on their luck a little bit. So that also, I think, feeds into this person feeling like they're a bit of a loser, as I mentioned. Yeah, you've also got the worm. Now, the worms in Adventure Time are like pretty annoying. They seem to get in the house all the time, which really upsets the main character. So again, maybe this person feels like they're just irritating to be around. They wouldn't want to be friends with themselves, so why on earth would you be interested in them, kind of thing. Video recorder, maybe this person's quite creative, has like a creative job or creative hobby, enjoys doing that sort of thing. When I see any kind of camera or video recorder, I also think of like making memories as well. This person possibly has a lot of fond memories of time spent with you. And, you know, I mentioned in the start of the reading that possibly this is someone you've known a long time for a lot of you. But I think that, again, in their alone time and often late at night, this person spends a lot of time thinking about conversations they've had with you or times that they've spent with you, and really, you know, feeling happy to remember that, in all honesty. Yeah, here again, you got someone sort of clapping their hands, looking pleased, looking delighted. This person is very happy to know you. Happy to spend time with you, always happy to hear from you, even if it's not necessarily how they might appear from the outset. What else have we got here? The two people kind of dancing and having fun together, celebrating. Yeah. As I mentioned, like, they really love spending time with you. They feel as though they've had a lot of fun with you. And as I said, like what was I saying? Sort of thinking about memories and time spent with you really makes them feel happy. Yeah, they like to remember times with you. Over here, I can see the ice cream. Ice cream makes me think of comfort food. It's definitely my favorite treat. I hate that it's so high in calories. Because I could just eat ice cream all day long. I love it so much. And so this again could be pointing to the issues this person possibly has with what they eat, or what they drink or consume or kind of otherwise put in their body. Also is making me think about you being their comfort food, or you kind of being their comfort person, if that makes sense, like the person that they turn to and everything just feels all right again. Like I'm kind of getting a feeling of like a big warm hug, and that's how it feels when they see you, if that makes sense. It's like coming home, or it's like having a warm hug, or when they get a message from you, that's kind of how it feels. And so they're very comforted by that, which hopefully is nice for you to hear. Then you have Hudson Abadia. This is Marceline's dad, actually, in the series. He is like king of the underworld or something. He's some kind of demon, but he's also like a vampire. He's generally bad news, as you can imagine. I think Marceline has abandonment issues from their relationship, because I don't think he's ever really been there for her, and when he does show up, it's usually because he wants something, and so he might try and offer something, kind of making it seem like he's got a good deal for you, when actually he's trying to trick you because he wants something from you, or he wants to take your soul or something, like a sort of stereotypical cartoon demon like he is. So, you know, possibly this person has issues with their father that caused some of their self-esteem issues or other problems that they've had to deal with in their life. Also, you know, this can be how they feel just generally about themselves, like they're just someone who takes and, you know, never gives anything back, or they're someone who is never there, you know, avoidant. So it's sort of come to mind quite a lot throughout the reading. Equally, I think this person kind of accepts that they've lied sometimes, or that they haven't been fully truthful about their intentions, perhaps. And this is kind of connected to the last dice that I can see, which is the demonic wishing eye. Similar theme there. The demonic wishing eye, it's worn by the Ice King, who is one of the villains in the series, and it kind of grants him various powers, and obviously can, you know, grant wishes to some extent, but it also takes parts of his soul in order to function. So there's the kind of vampire meaning across 3 different dice there. You know, this sense of like, I am sucking the life out of you, or I am taking and not really giving anything back. Because I mean, you do get powers from the demonic wishing eye, but as soon as you wear it, I think it changes who you are as a person. So it's almost like if you knew what it would do, or if you knew the power of it, you'd never actually choose to wear it, kind of thing. So, you know, again, there's this element of like, I'm not showing you who I truly am, or if you knew who I really was, you'd know I was this, you know, loser figure, or someone who can't be trusted, or, you know, who isn't lovable. Someone who's kind of been tainted by previous experiences or by their problems. So that's, it's extremely complicated, but that's how I think this person is feeling, group 3. They have a lot of love for you. They also, I think, regret quite a lot about the way that they have treated you, or the way that they have maybe not been there for you in the past. They also feel as though, you know, they're very enchanted by you, almost get the sense that they're putting you on a pedestal in a way. And that they are kind of seeing themselves as way down here, and you are like way up there, if that makes sense. So everyone's situation is going to be different here. This isn't an advice reading. This is just a, here's what this person's feeling kind of reading. And I hope it makes sense, and I hope it's, you know, understandable in your situation. But as I said, this one was quite complicated, but really, really interesting. And this person definitely does love you, but just I think doesn't open up an awful lot about what's on their mind, group 3. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it was insightful for you. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I would love to hear more about how this resonated, or more about your situation in the comments. That would be great if you could let me know down below. Do also like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. It really helps out my channel. And, you know, I don't have a regular uploading schedule at the moment. So if you subscribe and make sure that notifications are switched on, then it means that you won't miss out when I do upload. Because I don't really think that my videos get shown that much on YouTube anymore, given that I've been away for a little while. So, just in terms of the algorithm, it helps if you get notified so that you don't miss out. And yeah, thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's been lovely. Have a great rest of your day and take care. And I will see you again soon. Bye bye.